WWE returned to Buffalo's KeyBank Center from Monday's episode of Raw on Netflix. The tournament to determine the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship on September 14 in Mexico City continued, with AAA Cruiserweight Champion Rey Fenix battling El Fiscal and Dragon Lee squaring off with El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Who emerged victorious from those bouts? And what happened when the Usos and Jacob Fatu delivered Solo Sikoa to the Tribal Chief? Find out in this recap, including ratings and analysis for each of the night's matches and prominent segments. For this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom, Michael Bullock. Apologies for the postponement of last night's show. Commitments beyond our control. You know how it goes. So, but we're back here tonight. And without any further ado, gentlemen, let's dive on in to. All right, just gotta quickly get my stuff ready to go. We started it off with a promo segment. Yeah, of course, as is the usual. Started it with the promo segment, and it was Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer, she comes out and she cuts a promo on Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, and well, here we go. Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan reminded Stephanie Vaquer and Becky Lynch that there is power in numbers to kick off Monday's show. La Primera called out Morgan, who emerged from the back, flanked by her Judgment Day associates. She said the criticisms facing her in her reign do not faze her because she is a champion for herself. An unimpressed Stephanie Vaquer reiterated her demand for Morgan to come to the ring. 3-on-1 beatdown ensued until Becky Lynch arrived to make the save. Together, they cleared the ring. When tension between them reared its head, the heels again gained the upper hand, leaving both prospective number one contenders lying. This was a solid segment to kick off the show, intensifying the heat on the heels while telling the story of two babyfaces who may not be able to overcome the Judgment Day if they fail to find and act on common ground. A three-way match is inevitable, presumably as soon as Money in the Bank in New Orleans on October 10. Until then, the story is Vaquer and Lynch putting their own issues aside to combat a common enemy. Stephanie Vaquer's aura and in-ring ability has helped her forge a connection, while her promos have continuously improved. That she is over to the extent that she is in a company that values the ability to talk as much as WWE does is a testament to the performer. Liv Morgan is such a delightfully unlikable heel. Her ability to rub it in the audience's face and do so gleefully helps enhance her effectiveness in the role that much better. So, not much more to say on that. Let's get into our first match of the night. Javon Evans squaring off against JD McDonough. Javon Evans wins the match in 9 minutes and 15 seconds. All right, now, what happened was during one of those Netflix commercial breaks, Dominic Mysterio was whining and crying about, still being left out of that Luchador number one contenders tournament for the right to face Roman Reigns in Mexico City. And then Javon Evans comes out and he wants a match, but it ends up being JD who ends up getting the match here. So Javon wins it in 9:15. Javon's celebration was cut short though as Big Cass attacked out of nowhere. As he made his way to the back, a defiant Evans asked the big man if that was all he had. Evans mounted one last offensive, but Cass again left him laying. A solid match coupled with some great fire from the babyface made this an effective segment. At some point, though, we are going to need to see Cass back in the ring, where he will look to prove the growth he has made as a performer. Edginess was one element missing from the fun-loving Javon Evans, and this may be the feud that draws that out of him. If so, its success will be about much more than who wins and loses the inevitable match between him and Cass. Those who paid attention to Cass's work as W. Morrissey in TNA and Big Bill in All Elite Wrestling will know he can hang with Evans if he is allowed to open up his in-ring performance and be more than a destructive force of nature. Solid 3 stars for the bout, maybe 3 1/4, but I'm leaning more towards much more for me to add on to this. So, good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Javon Evans defeating JD McDonough in 9:15. Big Cass strikes again. Javon says, "Hey, is that all you got?" Well, a match is inevitable. I could see this being on Sunday night's main event, possibly.
Yeah, it's very possible. No doubt about it. Yeah, this was interesting to say the very least, and it was a 3-star bout. I thought they did a really good job starting the show, and with everything that played out, I thought they did a fine job. So I really got nothing more to add here. So Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, it's a 3-star match. I mean, yeah, it was a big win for Javon, but like you said, the celebration was cut short when Big Cass decided to attack him. And the thing is, guys, and I mean, it looked like Javon Evans was going to somehow come back and basically take one out on Big Cass, but Dirty Dom decided to ram him in the post and basically said, "I stopped the momentum. You can finish what you started." So you can thank Dirty Dom for ruining the momentum Javon Evans had on Big Cass, and that's why Big Cass got the upper hand back. So, yeah, I could see Sunday Night Heat as, I mean, Sunday night's main event as being the place to have this match happen. So yeah, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And Sunday night's main event, I think, could be that where we get it. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Florio.
All right. The next first round match in that number 1 contenders tournament, the AAA World Cruiserweight Champion Rey Fenix squaring off against El Fiscal, and Rey Fenix wins the match 9 minutes and 5 seconds. MF, no surprise here. Rey Fenix gets the win, and El Fiscal a little more than Bullock and I do because of your AAA coverage there. So I gotta tell you, I mean, he looked pretty solid. It's the first time I've seen him. So, but Rey Fenix winning was no surprise. 9:05.
Yeah, El Fiscal has definitely been making waves, especially in AAA. Was going after the Cruiserweight Championship for a little while now, and yeah, this was a really good matchup. This was easily a 3-star bout. I think you can definitely say that he definitely earned and definitely won the match. So I think we can definitely agree that this was a 3-star bout. If El Fiscal, really good performance, especially in the for all the U.S. fans who hasn't really gotten a chance to see him live. But now you're talking about a guy who can definitely make a big name for himself. And yeah, he did really good. But Rey Fenix going to the semifinal is even bigger because if you look at the bracket now, guys, we may have a once in a lifetime moment where we could, if everything holds form, we could have Rey Fenix versus Penta 1-on-1. Winner fights Roman in Mexico City. You want to talk about an epic battle, and this has never happened before. We've never had Rey Fenix versus Penta 1-on-1. This would be the equivalent, and I'm going to say this. This would literally be the equivalent of Bret Hart versus Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10. That's the level we're going. That's how far this could go. So, yeah. I mean, that's how big this could get. But at the end of the day, we'll see. So 3 stars, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 3 stars as well. I mean, this is the first time I've seen El Fiscal compete, and I'll tell you, I came out impressed with him. And but yeah, Ray Phoenix winning was never in doubt. I mean, this was to me the right outcome. But yeah, I mean, if everything goes right, man, if we get Ray Phoenix and Penta in the finals, oh, that is gonna deliver, and that is gonna be, like you said, a once in a lifetime match. So we'll see what happens. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. For this was a slower paced bout than one might have expected. Still, it featured perfectly acceptable wrestling, highlighted the underutilized champion, and set him up to battle the winner of Dragon Lee and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., still to come later in the show. I don't know if you noticed this, but Bullock and I noticed this, and I'm sure MF did too. Fiscal attempted a tombstone, a move that is banned in Mexico, but not in the United States. But Ray Phoenix escaped it. And then that's when Ray put him away for the win with his Mexican muscle buster.
Yeah, the
WWE did. Go ahead. Yeah, MF.
I was going to say, yeah, and I want to, because I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute, why is that move banned in Mexico? Why is it not? Because of the fact that it's similar to like the pile driver. It's about protecting the wrestler's head. And in Mexico, it's a forbidden move. So I'll tell you one thing. If The Undertaker ever pulled that move in Mexico, he'd probably get arrested for doing that move. So yeah, that's why that move is illegal in Mexico, because it's considered very dangerous. And it's like in the United States, where the pile driver is kind of an unwritten it's kind of like an unwritten rule that you don't do that particular move. That's why, because it's to protect the wrestler's head.
Now isn't it a rule, Fletch, that especially in AAA, if you use that move, that's an automatic disqualification?
Yes, you actually can get disqualified for doing the tombstone pile driver. And it actually happened once in AAA. It was Vampiro. He was fighting against El Messias, and Vampiro did the tombstone and got disqualified from the match. Yes, it actually has happened. I guess I gave him his answer. So Bullock, it's yours. I mean,
I was gonna say, I think it's Florio's turn.
Yeah. Oh, he said he's going to be right back.
All right, so
he stepped away for a moment. So yeah, actually, yes, it is.
So yeah, like you said, Fletch. I mean, in America, if you do the tombstone, that's okay. But in AAA in Mexico, that's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, and actually, it doesn't matter if it's in AAA, CMLL. It is outlawed. It's a major outlaw. You're not allowed to do that move. So,
and like you said, if you use it, that's an automatic disqualification.
Automatic DQ. The fight's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, because there's been a couple of times where I've seen moves like that, obviously, it also depends on who the referee is. But I know for El Hijo de Durante, who's one of the biggest crooked officials in all of Mexico, like
Oh, boy.
even he called a disqualification once because of that move. Because, like we said, that move is highly, highly dangerous. You're not allowed to use that move. Highly dangerous. Because again, you're talking about a guy's head, a guy's neck, and if you don't do if you do that move, it almost is risking the guy's life. So
Now, the only thing I question is especially, and I know this is going off subject because remember, during the whole Cody Rhodes or during the whole Kevin Owens, feud when he was using the pile driver,
yeah.
people are like, wait a minute, I thought wrestlers couldn't do that.
Oh, you mean the package pile driver?
Yeah, the package pile driver.
Oh, well, okay. The reason why with Kevin Owens was because he actually did that move in the Indies, and it's not an illegal move. The package pile driver is not an illegal move, but it's like an unwritten rule. You don't do that move. That's what it was. And Kevin Owens used to do the package pile driver in Ring of Honor. He used to do it in the Indies.
But
Pro
he's
Wrestling.
done it in WWE, and I'm sure there's some
Yeah,
people like,
and when he did it in WWE, that's why a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, wait a minute!" That's
like, wait a minute, what the hell? How come? Why didn't they punish Kevin Owens for it? Because
technically, it's not an illegal move. Technically, it's not an illegal move to do in wrestling, but it's like an unwritten rule. You don't do that. That's like
it's an unwritten rule.
When Sami Zayn did the Brainbuster on Gunther at WrestleMania. He never did the Brainbuster in WWE. He hardly ever does the Brainbuster in WWE. But
for some of these moves, it's an unwritten rule, but it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. It's an unwritten rule. You don't. Basically, there's a gentleman's agreement.
It's like you don't do that, but
yeah, it's a gentleman's
agreement. Kevin Owens was basically like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
If they want to find me, if they want to find me, I dare them to find me.
Yeah, no, but the thing is that a move like that is gonna wind up in wrestler's court with the Undertaker. That's the gist of it. You want to upset the fact that you want to take this into wrestler's court with the Undertaker? Do the package pile driver. You'll definitely get somebody. Somebody's definitely going to make a case out of it.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. I'm sure there are people like, are you sure you still want to do this? Because you may have to go to wrestler's court and deal with the Undertaker, and that's the last person you want to effing deal with.
Yeah. So that's why. Hang on, Bullet.
Yeah,
we're still waiting on Florio. He's taking
he's taking a call.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we do from now until he gets back.
Yeah.
And another thing, Fletch, I mean, this is not the first time we heard about wrestlers' court, because on an episode of Dark Side of the Ring, I think it was, I'm trying to remember what it was, that someone went to wrestler's court.
All right. So hopefully it's not too serious, and hopefully it's not too bad.
That's what I was about to say. I hope that this call that Florio's taking, it's not too serious.
All right. Let's see. So I'm gonna try to get into the thing and try to get onto the show.
Yeah, because we just talked about that Ray Phoenix and El Fiscal.
El Pascal. All
So
right,
we gotta find out
let
what's
me
next.
Yep, let me try to get in there, and I will help you guys. This was, like I said, this was kind of a little bit out of right field, and I wasn't. Well, I'm not gonna say I wasn't unprepared, but it was just I didn't think it was gonna be my time to take over. So, let's go to ProWrestling.net. This is kind of my go-to spot. All right, here we go. And the next thing that we had on the show.
I'm trying to remember what it was that was next after this.
Yeah, I'm getting it, Bullet. Don't worry. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, here. All right. So after that, then what we had was all right. So then we had was we talked about the Javon Evans versus JD McDonough.
Yeah, we already did that.
First thing that's the first thing we did. Then obviously the El Pascal. All right, here it is. Sol Ruca going one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria, and Sol Ruca winning the match in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. This was all right. This was an okay fight. This was a good match. It was back and forth and everything else. It was really good. Obviously, she went for the Nightwing. Ruka blocked it. Then she got countered into a DDT, and then the next thing you know, Soul Snatcher. That ended it. 1, 2, 3. Down she went in a solid 3-star bout. So that's all I got right now. So Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you. Sol Ruca winning the match in 10 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's a 3-star match for me as well. I mean, yeah, Sol Ruca with this win, and it basically puts her in line for a future shot at Raquel Rodriguez and the Women's Intercontinental Championship, because that's what this was all about. Because Sol Ruca had her intentions on it, and Lyra was like, "Hey, I was the first Women's Intercontinental Champion, and I deserve another shot at it. And I don't like some up and comer trying to take that opportunity. And if Sol got in the way, she was going to end up just like Bayley, gone. But sorry, Lyra, it's back of the line for you. I mean, Sol's going to be the one that gets the shot somewhere down the line. When? Who knows? So, nothing more for me to say. So, Fletch, let's move on to the next thing that we have.
All right. Then we had a promo segment. This was Oba Femi and Braun Breaker. Obviously, Paul Heyman was there. Dude, I mean, Michael Bullock. You want to talk about some fire in this promo between Braun Breaker and Oba Femi, and
I'm back in, guys.
All right.
I'm very sorry about that. This
hopefully it was nothing too serious.
Yeah, I had to take a call. Everything's good. Everything's good. It was just a small little catch-up session. So catch me up on where I'm supposed to be here.
We just talked about Sol Ruca and Lyra Valkyria.
All right, so I gotta pick up from the Phoenix and Fiscal and going on. All right.
I think that was next after that.
Oh, okay. All right. MF, I appreciate you filling in on such short notice. I did not expect that to come up, but it did. You know, live TV, anything can happen, right? So, all right. Let's see. Let me just put to bed the Phoenix and Fiscal situation there. WWE did little to tell the audience who El Fiscal was, but the crowd was invested enough in Ray Phoenix after they were hanging on the action by the time the finish arrived. That was another 3-star bout. Lyra Valkyria cut another impassioned promo, this one on her opponent, Sol Ruca. Her commitment to this new character has been nothing short of extraordinary. And as far as the Ruka and Valkyria match goes, Sol Ruka winning it in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Very good competitive matchup that highlighted Ruka's potential and Valkyria's strengths between the ropes. It also put over how coveted the Women's Intercontinental Championship is. This may have been Sol Ruka's finest bout on the main roster, and considering some of the women she has already shared the ring with, including the greatest of all time in Becky Lynch, that is a huge testament to both women. The match was great, and Ruka is probably the right choice to go over, but beating Valkyria after she just had a huge career-defining performance and win over Bayley on Saturday night's main event may have been the wrong call. May have been. So, but this was still an amazing match. 3 1/4, 3 1/2, very easily. So, am I handing it off to somebody or?
No, we already talked about it.
We already covered it. So yeah, it's all.
We were about to talk about the Obafemi and Braun Breaker segment.
Okay. All right. Here we go. You know our rule. You know our creed. Our credo when it comes to promo segments. We usually don't talk about them unless something of importance / significance.
But this promo is something we have to talk about.
You damn right we do. Braun Breaker. What started as a backstage promo featuring the Visions, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, Maxine Dupree, and Braun Breaker gave way to Breaker marching to the ring and calling out Obafemi. Paul Heyman interrupts and begs the question, who is the future of WWE? The Ruler eventually joined the two in the squared circle and mocked Breaker and reminded the fans that Brock Lesnar knows who it is. If you have a problem with the answer, you can take it up with me. Any day, any time, Femi told the badass. You take one step closer to Obafemi, you take a permanent step away from me, Heyman warned Breaker. The indignant advocate said they do not set up impromptu matches to determine the future of the company. He said a superstar knows the importance of the main event. He revealed he set up the match between the two dominant forces with Adam Pearce earlier in the day. Sunday night's main event in Atlanta, Sunday night, September the 6th. The heels bailed from the ring, leaving Femi standing tall in the ring. The mind games continue. Is Heyman with Breaker? Is he possibly aligned with Femi? Or is Heyman doing what he has done so many times in his career, playing both sides before revealing his choice at the right time? While Heyman is as engaging and compelling a performer as there is in wrestling today, this should be all about Braun Breaker and Obafemi. And honestly, this feels like the perfect time to split Braun Breaker from Paul Heyman and the Vision. Whether that is the direction that this is heading or not, it is a creative direction that should be considered. He is wasted otherwise. Femi mocked Breaker talking to Heyman and did a damn near spot-on impersonation of the tag champion. Whoa. Wow. Obafemi, Braun Breaker, Saturday night's main event. Okay, MF. I see your Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton SmackDown main event for Atlanta, and I and Raw will raise you Obafemi versus Braun Breaker as our Monday Night Raw main event in the ATL, your city, on Sunday, September the 6th. Yes, Bo.
If that's not a BMF fight, I don't know what is.
You can make an argument for both of those matches, honestly. You know Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, you know that's going to be a BM fight also. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, but this is going to be more of a BM fight.
And what's that old saying of Big E? Big men, meaty men slapping meat? Oh, yeah. We're going to see a lot of that and then some. Let me tell you. So, great segment here. You could call segment of the night here, but you can make an argument for it. But there was obviously one segment that actually ended up being better than this, as great as this was. And you know where we're going with that. We're going to address that one as well. So great segment here, no doubt about it. So MF, your city, the ATL, one of your homes away from home, Sunday night, September the 6th. Like I said, you got Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for your SmackDown main event. Fine and dandy. I raise you, Raw, and I raise you, Obafemi and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and it's going to get very interesting now. So Both matches are gonna slap. I think that's the thing that is definitely gonna do. Both matches are gonna feed families. I don't think there's really much to say about it either. How's that gonna look? We don't know, but yeah, I'm excited. I think this is gonna be a hell of a show. So, good matchup, good battle coming up, and yeah, the promo was amazing. I don't think there's much to say about that. The promo itself was top notch. So both men looked really good, but once again, Braun Breaker Obafemi proves why he's one of the best talkers in the world today. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
This is what it needed to be. I mean, it's been back and forth with like who the future of this company is. I mean, people say Obafemi, but Braun Breaker literally takes exception to it and says, "I've done more than what Obafemi's done in his brief time." And yeah, when someone else says that they're the future, that's when Braun Breaker. Yeah, you don't want to get him upset, but Oba's a man that's not going to back down from anything or anyone. And now you got two of these two that are going to face off for Sunday night's main event. This is already setting up to be a really good Sunday night's main event. I mean, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and now you add this. Man, I mean, just these two matches alone are already making it worth watching on Sunday. I mean, now I'm gonna ask you guys, whoever comes out of this match, do you think whoever comes out of this match is the future of WWE?
I gotta say no because it's too soon to predict. I don't think it's gonna determine it. I think it'll propel one man over the other where they'll get a leg up. But as far as like to prove who's the future of the company, they're both the futures of the company. And I also will say also Trick Williams is the future of the company. No, I think what this is going to do is just to prove who the better man is on that night. But for you to say, is it going to prove who is the future of WWE?
Well,
I disagree. I don't think it's gonna.
Only time will tell.
I don't think it. I don't think it's
I'm
gonna.
gonna go back to what Florio said too. I mean, when he said that Braun Breaker needs to break away from the Vision, because I think I actually agree. Because I mean, has he really gotten over? With this version of the Vision, I mean, with Logan Paul and of course now with Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree, I'm sure.
I kind of feel right now that I think the Vision ran its course. I think it's time for them to break up. But the thing is that Braun Breaker should have been the future of the company. Hell, if you watch the Unrivaled on the Unrivaled series this past season, Braun Breaker was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. I mean,
that's right.
They basically didn't want to do it because they were afraid that they were going to shove him down our throats, which, okay, I get it.
Yeah, where people are probably going to start getting sick and tired of him, and they're going to say he's at the point of go away.
And I kind of feel like by doing that, you may have made a mistake. Just me personally, my thoughts, but we'll see.
Yeah, and to have a little fun here after this, Austin Theory, Maxine Dupree, will you two get a damn room whenever you're kissing, because part of me's like, ugh. So nothing more to say. I just figure I lighten it up a little bit. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, we could always use some comic relief around here, no doubt about it. So, and yes, Bullock and during our Raw chat the other night, Bullock did indeed say that when we saw that. So, yep. So that's just a little sample of what Bullock and I do during our Raw chats, let me tell you. So, all right. So with that being said, we move on now to the our final first round match in the Luchador tournament to determine Roman's challenger in Mexico. As it was Dragon Lee squaring off against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Dragon Lee wins the match 11 minutes and 5 seconds via the Operation Dragon. MF, Dragon Lee versus Ray Phoenix in the semis. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a match. No doubt about it. This could be, we talk about possible best matches of the tournament. This may be the fight of the tournament. Like, this could be the fight, other than the finals, and we all kind of believe where the finals could go, but this could be the fight. This could be the semifinal match of the tournament. If that's the case, oh man, batten down the hatches. This could be an epic one. Yeah, this is another 3.5-star bout. It was slow in certain areas. And I know a lot of people's like, well, is it because no, it's a lot of the times El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. does slow the pace a little bit. It was still a fine match, but it's a 3-star bout, like I said, but it definitely did feel like it dragged a little bit in certain elements of the match. So, but it was still a fine match. But yeah, that semifinal match is going to be insane. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5 for this match. I mean, yeah, you get Ray Phoenix and Dragon Lee and in the semifinals. Woof, that's gonna be something. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. This was definitely a 3.5-star match here. Second best fight of the night, if I'm being honest. And MF nailed it. A tale of two matches. It started slow, but picked up after the break, but the crowd invested in the action and hanging on every near fall. Ultimately, Lee delivered Operation Dragon to secure the win and set up what should be an action-packed showdown with Ray Phoenix in the semis next week. Good match in which Wagner Jr. shined in defeat. This was everything that the earlier Lucha bout was not. Considering WWE's issues with age at the top of the company, it is astonishing that Dragon Lee has not been better positioned to be a star of the future. He has consistently delivered when given the opportunity, and at just 31, he has plenty of years left to excel. So, 3.5 stars. We have our semifinals. In one semifinal, we're going to see Penta squaring off against La Parca. And in the other semifinal, it will be Dragon Lee versus Ray Phoenix. And we're going to get both of those semifinals will be next Monday night on Raw. Special start time of 6 p.m. Eastern from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. The home of the Ottawa Senators. And the reason being is they're going to be doing a double taping. They're going to be taping both Raw and SmackDown in that building. So that's why the early start time next week at 6. So, so not much more to say there. Okay. Oh, we're going to have some fun now. Here we, I mean, you thought that last match was good? Oh, wait till we get to this. It was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Chad Gable, defending against WWE Hall of Famer and former multi-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion in his own right, Rey Mysterio. And the winner of the match in 13 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, it is Chad Gable. Michael Bullock, we saw this match during our Raw chat, and wow.
Whew,
Wow.
what a match that was. And by the way, Florio, how old is Rey Mysterio? Just let the people know.
He is 51 years old. He'll be turning 52 later this year.
Yeah, 51 turning 52, and for him to deliver a match like that and to continue to do all those moves at that age,
Come on.
mega props. If you don't respect Rey Mysterio, there's something wrong with you.
He's still bumping like he's 21, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Well, we know one person who doesn't respect that, and that's his own son, Dirty Dom, who claims he's the greatest luchador of all time. That's beyond debatable, but you're looking at one of the greatest in Rey Mysterio. For him to do this at 51, soon to turn 52, I got a lot of respect for this guy. And I'm going to call this the fight of the night here. And I'm going to go 4 4.25, but after the match, I mean, just mega respect between both Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio. I mean, Rey putting the belt around his waist, Chad Gable raising Rey's arm. I mean, this was awesome. This was just awesome. I enjoyed it, so nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Man, oh man. Okay, I got quite a bit to unpack here. Like Bullock said, Rey Mysterio, 51 years old, soon to be 52. Still bumping around like he was 21. I mean, I told Bullock this during our Raw chat. And I'm going to say it again here. I first saw Rey Mysterio in WCW. And I know MF did. Bullock probably didn't. But MF and I, we certainly did. It was especially during the summer of 1996. The summer of 1996.
Respect Rey Mysterio. I don't know.
Yeah, the summer of 1996. On when they were doing those WCW Monday Nitros outdoors at Universal Studios. I saw him wrestle. And now, granted, I'm 12 going on 13 at the time. But even when I was 12 years old, I knew right then and there, I said to myself, he is going to be a big star someday. And I'm not at all surprised that I was right about it.
It's just,
look at him. Look what this guy has done
throughout
his career.
Make you respect Rey.
He's won every title there is to win. He's already in the Hall of Fame. And did you hear that crowd in Buffalo? That crowd in Buffalo was pulling for him to win. They were pulling for him to win the title. That's how into this they were. Unbelievable. But
there was part of me wanted it to happen, but look, Chad Gable just got his moment. You want to give him a good run with the Intercontinental Championship.
And rightly so. Yeah, so back and forth match that had the crowd popping over the possibility that Rey might turn back the clock, beat one of the best wrestlers in the world, and once again win singles gold. And late, Mysterio delivered a 619, but Gable got the knees up on a splash. He applied the ankle lock, but Rey escaped. More counters and reversals ensued before Gable rolled up Rey, grabbed his legs, and scored the pinfall win. Greatest luchador of all time saluted Gable, strapping the belt around his waist in a sign of respect, just like Penta did for him at SummerSlam after Gable took the belt off Penta. It should be no surprise to anyone that this match was as good as it was. Two of the best in the business, given time to work together, and with established chemistry, delivered big time. Rey Mysterio continues to make the case for inclusion on greatest of all time lists, if he was not already on them. Chad Gable is outstanding and might be the best pound-for-pound wrestler on the roster. 4 to 4.25 stars. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. MF, Rey Mysterio may not have won the title, but he damn sure still turned back the clock. I mean, 51, bumping like he was 21, like we first saw him in WCW in the summer of 96, especially during those outdoor nitros. Fun as hell, by the way. But on this night, it was Chad Gable who successfully defends the title against Rey Mysterio in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a 4 to 4.25 star bout. MF, well, he probably hit the wrong button or something. So we'll wait for MF to rejoin us here.
Or if he actually had to leave.
No, I think I think he hit the wrong button myself.
I mean, I hope so, but
yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if he had to leave because of work commitments beyond his control.
No, I don't know. But yes, if you're, I know a lot of people are pressed for time nowadays. But if you're pressed for time and don't have time to watch the whole Raw back, you gotta at least watch this match back. All right, we got him back. All right, I figured he hit the wrong button, didn't you, MF?
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's a 4 to 4.25 stars, no doubt about it. Hell of a fight. You can even make an argument for fight of the night. Really nothing more to add. And Anthony, yeah, back to you.
Okay. Next week, we'll be in Ottawa. Like I said, special start time, 6 p.m. Eastern because of the double taping. Next week on Raw, here we go, guys. Here's what's on the agenda. Stephanie Vaquer, 1-on-1 with Roxanne Perez. The 2 semifinal matches in the tournament. Penta versus La Parka. Ray Phoenix versus Dragon Lee. And Oba Femi and Braun Breaker. Contract signing.
It is not going to end well. I can guarantee you on that.
What says you, MF? Oh man.
I think you might need the 82nd Airborne for this.
My God, I can't wait. That's gonna be so fun. All right, here we go. This was what we were all waiting for, in addition to Gable and Mysterio. The Usos and Jacob Fatu delivered Solo Sikoa to World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, who wasted no time berating and belittling his former enforcer, complete with a video package reminding him that it was the Tribal Chief who defeated him in Tribal Combat on the very first Raw on Netflix, January 2025. A few cheap shots left Solo lying before LA Knight hit the ring. He fought off the bloodline until the numbers game proved too much, and Roman rocked him with a Superman punch. With the Usos holding LA Knight, Roman told Solo to attack LA Knight. He feigned doing so as well before hitting Roman with the amniotic spike to a huge ovation from the fans in Buffalo, all while Jacob, who was reprimanded by Roman, watched from the corner. Knight and Solo stood tall to close out the show. The clear top 2 baby faces on the Raw brand. This was excellent. The crowd ate it up, delivering Sikoa the loudest pop of his career. That 2 guys who have now convincingly gotten over on the bloodline will propel the story forward, while Reigns has to deal with the reality of Jacob Fatu not assisting him. If Solo Sikoa can continue to build on the momentum that his emerging personality has afforded him, he is a potential breakout star for the company as a top-tier babyface. Jacob Fatu was great here, listening to orders, but doing so in a way that was defiant. His dynamic within the bloodline has been the saving grace of this incarnation of the group. And one content creator went as far as to say this was the best bloodline segment post WrestleMania 40. And I am definitely inclined to agree on that. Absolutely amazing. Solo is going to be uber over right now. I mean, Solo Dolo, oh, you think he's over now after what he just did? Solo just got made. This was their way. This was Solo's way of saying, I'm here and I have arrived. But LA Knight, though, I believe LA Knight is going to benefit from this in the long run because there is the rumor going around that LA Knight will challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank in New Orleans in October, on October the 10th, Columbus Day weekend. So, man, what to make of all this? Segment of the night. What else is there to say? MF, Solo Dolo, took it to the Tribal Chief. Amniotic Spike. He and LA Knight stand tall. Jacob Fatu standing in the corner. LA Knight could possibly be set up. Every fans have been clamoring for LA Knight to get a world title run. Could it happen possibly at Money in the Bank if this match happens?
I mean,
Jacob Fatu could be the difference maker here.
I mean, anything is possible. I'm not gonna completely dismiss it, but yeah, it's very plausible. There's no doubt about it. It's very plausible. At the end of the day, I think they did a really good job with it. I think the gimmick is amazing, and yeah, I really got nothing more to add. So I think the way that they did it, that was shocking. You needed something to jolt the crowd. You wanted something to really get the crowd all hyped. That is exactly how to do it. Amazing job. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved. And now Roman being that smarmy heel, he sold it so well. And I think that's also the thing that made this work, is that Roman sold it. So yeah, nothing more to say. Amazing work by everybody involved. And my respect for Solo went up tenfold after this. Remember, a few years ago, people were thinking that it was going to be Solo getting the big rub, and then he kind of lost his way until now. Solo Sikoa definitely was the star of this segment more than anything else. So yeah, nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, remember what we said last week after the result happened. Everybody was all up in arms about they destroyed Solo Sikoa's momentum. And Florio, what did you say?
Oh, about what? About Solo?
You said give it some time.
Give it a chance. Give it some time.
And we'll see, because something could come out of it, and this is what we got. And all it did was make Solo. Everybody knows that Solo he's popular right now, especially with his gimmick. And like I said, I mean, this definitely helped it. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this segment. I mean, a good way to close it out. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. So let's get into overall thoughts on this episode of Raw.
I believe this goes to MF to start it off. So, MF, Monday Night Raw in Buffalo. How did we do?
Excellent show. From the beginning segment all the way to that big moment. 8 out of 10. It's very good Monday Night Raw. Nothing more to say. Bullet, go.
8 out of 10. I agree. I mean, I enjoyed everything. I mean, there were some things I thought could have been better, but there really wasn't that much to complain about this show. It was a really good show. So, Florio, you get the final say before we talk about NXT.
The MVP of the show was Rey Mysterio. The Timeless Wonder continues to show an entire generation of fans that the hype surrounding him throughout his career is justified. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, he showed out on Monday night against Chad Gable in a banger of a match. Wins and losses mean nothing to his legacy at this point, especially when he is out there having great matches, keeping the crowd invested, and working at a high level. On a night when Solo Sikoa and Lyra Valkyria made strong arguments for MVP consideration, it is one of pro wrestling's greatest who surpasses them for that spot. If I had to put a letter grade on this show, it would be that of a solid A. A great show closing angle that made a bigger star of Solo Sikoa, capped off a work-heavy episode of Raw. Strong in-ring content, including a TV Match of the Year contender between Rey Mysterio and Chad Gable, only accentuated the broadcast. This was a focused show with a clear direction. In some ways, it felt like the 2024 shows that Triple H and the creative team had earned rave reviews for. There is no way to know if the company can build on this broadcast and pick up some momentum moving into what are typically the doldrums of the fall and winter in WWE, but this was a great start. 8 out of 10, no question about it. Some things could have been better, like Bullock said, yes, but I do believe solid 8 out of 10 is the correct rating for this show. So, not much more to say there. And now let's dive into NXT. All right, I got it here. All right. Let's set this up. Get rid of that and get into this. Zilla Fatu's electric arrival to NXT last week ushered in a new era for the brand's burgeoning main event scene. And the latest episode featured the fallout. Cruz Montana recently forced his way into the NXT Championship picture and was set to call out the Samoan newcomer. Fatu crashed last week's number one contenders bout between Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller, setting the stage for an update on the NXT title match at Heat Wave on August 30. Scores will be settled when Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair battle Callie Armstrong and Kalani Jordan in tag team action, when Natty battles Thea Hale after Hale cost her a recent win against Jada Parker, plus Ray Phoenix's next challenger to the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship will be determined in a fatal four-way with La Parca, Romeo Moreno, Tristan Angels, and EK Prosper. Here are the complete results, ratings, and reaction for last night's edition of NXT as it aired live on the CW. After being attacked by the debuting Zilla Fatu in last week's main event and costing him an opportunity at the NXT Championship at Heatwave, Cruz Montana started the show immediately, putting the newcomer on notice. Montana was fired up while demanding a fight with Fatu before being told by a stagehand that he hadn't arrived at the building yet. He ended up getting the AAA World Cruiserweight Champion Ray Phoenix instead, who told Montana he was there to find out his next challenger and that he has his back in his war with Fatu. Montana acknowledged their history in other promotions, specifically naming TNA and AAA, but obviously excluded AEW, and said that he was proud of Phoenix for proudly representing their culture. Montana said he'd see Fatu in the parking lot. Montana has such a star presence about him, it's no surprise that he's already involved in the main event mix on NXT and chasing the NXT Championship. Came off like a total natural, kicking off the show with his passionate promo. WWE rarely acknowledges the existence of AEW, and this segment was no exception. But the Lucha Bros battles with Montana and Ortiz over there deserve to be remembered. Those teams were holding down the fort with their matches in AEW's tag team division for a while. And Fatu doesn't have any allies as of now, so it's interesting that an alliance between Montana and Phoenix is being established. This could end up being nothing, but perhaps we'll get Phoenix versus Fatu at some point. Great way to start it off. Solid segment there. Next up, first match of the night, the Fatal 4-Way match to determine the number one contender for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship. EK Prosper versus Tristan Angels versus Romeo Moreno, Noam Dar in his corner, and La Parca. Winner of the match in 10 minutes and 28 seconds, and the number one contender for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship, EK Prosper, wins the match. Prosper is coming off some big wins over Keanu Carver, so it's smart to keep his momentum rolling by having him challenge for the AAA Cruiserweight title. He shouldn't be expected to win, but he should have a standout showing nonetheless. Thankfully, Angels didn't suffer another unnecessary loss. Granted, he didn't win, but it was better to protect him by ensuring he didn't eat the pin. Whatever happens in Phoenix versus Prosper should set something up for the AAA event that is preceding Heatwave on August 30th, whether it be a rematch or them teaming up against common enemies. But excellent match to stump it off. And as has been the case, usually the first match of NXT is usually the banger match. And I could go as far as to call this the fight of the night if I wanted to. Easily 3.5 stars. No doubt about it. So not much more. MF, EK Prosper wins this Fatal 4-Way 10-28. EK Prosper Ray Phoenix next week on NXT for that AAA World Cruiserweight Championship.
Dude, that's gonna be a banger. It was a great match, no doubt about it. I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars is my rating. Yeah, you can make an argument. Fight of the night, no doubt. Bullock is yours.
3.5. I mean, a great way to start off the matches portion of NXT, and yeah, EK Prosper, Ray Phoenix for the AAA World Cruiserweight title. Oh, that's going to be good. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
All right. Just checking some things here. All right. Next up, it was Natty Neidhart. She had her dungeon mates, the Evolve Women's Champion Nikita Lyons, and of course my favorite Carmen Petrovic. And Natty squared off against Thea Hale. Thea Hale had Ms. Parker in her corner. That's Jada Parker. Winner of the match, 8 minutes and 28 seconds. Natty defeats Thea Hale in 8:28. And MF, she did it as her Uncle Brett and her family always did. That patented Hart family sharpshooter does in Thea at 8:28.
Yeah, it was a solid matchup. This was close to 3. This is like 2 3/4, close to 3 stars. But it was a fine match. Good wrestling. That's something that the women's has been doing really well lately, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, really nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. Obviously, it continues the feud with Jada Parker and Natty Neidhart, and of course the Dungeon team. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Florio.
Now, I don't know what happened in this bout. What I mean is, I don't know what happened because earlier on Evolve, tonight on Evolve, Nikita Lyons put her Evolve Women's Championship on the line against Thea Hale. That's the result I do not know. I usually don't watch Evolve, if I'm being honest with you, but we'll see how that played out. But as far as this particular bout goes, Natty and Thea, you nailed it. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star for the effort here. And this was a well-worked match from Natty and Hale, serving its purpose of furthering the feud between Natty and Jada and creating the need for a rubber match. Hale was responsible for Natty's loss to Parker, so this gave her a measure of revenge. Hale has made the most of being back on NXT TV in a regular role. She didn't need to win here, but it's important that she was made to look credible in defeat. As noted, Parker versus Natty 3 is imminent, but hopefully they can get it out of the way on the sooner side because the rivalry has run its course. Maybe the payoff at Heatwave, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. 2.5, 2 3/4. Speed Championship on the line. Lexis King defending against Lucian Price. Lexis King had Birthright in his corner, of course. Lexis King, still the Speed Champion. He wins it in 4:35. We can cut this out here because you know how we feel about the Speed Championship stuff. These speed matches are way too short and basic to be anything out of the ordinary. This specific one told a simple enough story, but it wasn't all that interesting. Lucian Price, I thought he held his own here, but OTM are definitely better as a unit. Expect this to lead to a tag team match soon between Birthright and OTM. And both of the speed titles should be retired. Sure, it gives some of the undercard talent an additional championship to challenge for, but how much does that mean when the titles are practically pointless and unnecessary? So 2 stars. We're not gonna waste any time on that. I know we got to start picking up the pace here. So, all right. Then we had, similar to Cruz Montana earlier, Grayson Waller was not happy with his NXT Championship #1 Contenders match being interrupted by Zilla Fatu last week. Grayson wasted no time in targeting Zilla in his promo and taking shots at his family. Although Waller laid claim to being the uncrowned #1 contender, the champion, Tony D, emerged to tell him he did not earn his opportunity before Cruz Montana showed up straight from the parking lot to say the same and tell Waller that they had unfinished business. Enter General Manager Robert Stone and he made it clear that Fatu is not yet officially signed to a contract and that Tony D will defend the NXT Championship against Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana in a triple threat match at Heatwave. This was a simple solution to the issue of what the NXT Championship match would be at Heatwave. Fatu should be kept out of the picture until he's further established. Not to mention, we already had a fatal four-way for the title not too long ago. This was a solid segment, but none of them had enough time to talk and say anything of note. Giving Waller a few more minutes would have been nice since he's been excelling on the mic since returning to NXT. The real issue feels like it's between Waller and Montana. So hopefully Tony D can do something in the coming weeks to come across less like an afterthought. All right, the tag team matchup here. Kendall, the NXT Women's Champion Kendall Gray, along with the Women's Speed Champion Ren Sinclair, they squared off against Kalani Jordan and Callie Armstrong. And it was Callie Armstrong and Kalani Jordan winning the match 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Michael Bullock, this goes to you. Callie Armstrong, Kalani Jordan, knocking off the two women's champions in 10:33.
Yeah, it's a big win for the heel team, and especially for Kalani Jordan as she gets some momentum going into that NXT Women's Title match against Kendall Gray at Heatwave, and we'll see how it plays out leading up to it. So, what was the time again?
10:33.
This is about an even 3-star match, so it's yours, Florio.
Yes. This was a very good, well-paced matchup with commendable work from all four ladies. They're consistently outshining the men and always have the crowd invested in the action. Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair complement each other so exceptionally well as partners. May they never split up because both of them equally benefit from the friendship on screen. Kendall Gray was already confirmed to defend the Women's Championship against Kalani Jordan at Heatwave, so this served as a solid preview of that. As such, it made sense for Ren to be the one to get to take the fall here. So 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5. So not much more. MF, Kalani Jordan and Callie Armstrong, huge win over the two women's champions.
Yeah, a huge win. 3 1/4 stars. You're absolutely right. I thought they did a fine job with it. Could have been better in certain areas, but I'm not going to be too hard about it. They did a fine job. Nothing more to say. Florio, go.
All right. And all right. Implications aplenty here in this next match. Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project squaring off against Shiloh Hill. If Jackson Drake wins this match, Jackson Drake earns a North American Championship match against Miles Bourne at Heatwave. And in addition, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes will get their rematch for the Tag Team Championship against Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights, also at Heatwave. It would mean Miles Bourne would have to pull double duty here, guys. Well, Mr. Bourne is going to have to pull double duty. Jackson Drake wins the match, 11 minutes and 8 seconds. You would think it was because of the Vanity Project. No. The referee, Derek Sanders, threw out the Vanity Project for interference. He caught him red-handed trying to interfere. He throws them out. But who was hiding under the ring? Naraku. Red mist in the face of Shiloh Hill, allowing Jackson Drake to steal the win in 11:08. Another 3 1/4, 3.5 for this. It was much more competitive in the second half, with both guys showing a strong sense of urgency. This was Shiloh Hill's best bout in recent memory. His series of matches with Tristan Angels were fine, but this gave him a chance to truly showcase his skills for a change. Jackson Drake is the perfect foil for any babyface, and especially Miles Bourne. That should be a good match come Heatwave. And the NXT North American Championship feels like it's legitimately in jeopardy of changing hands. And Hill mentioned Naraku in his last two vignettes, so a feud between them seemed inevitable. Naraku, being as experienced as he is, makes him a logical foe for Hill right now. 3 1/4, 3.5. MF. Miles Bourne, he's got to pull double duty at Heatwave, tag team and North American title matches.
I think he's going to lose at least one of the belts. I hate to say it, but I do believe that Miles Bourne will not be a double champion after Heat Wave. He's going to lose one of them. I think it's more possibility that they're going to lose the tag team titles. I don't think he's going to lose the North American. Not yet. So, yeah, I think that's how it's going to play out. Nothing more to say. 3.25 stars. Bullet, go.
Yeah, 3.25 for me as well. I mean, Miles Bourne's gonna have to pull a double duty, and yeah, I see him losing the tag title more than the North American Championship. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on.
I think it might be the other way around. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to think about that one. But I'm gonna have to think about that because we're gonna have to preview that next week. So yeah. So let's see here. Next week, Robert Stone's office. Robert Stone reminded Zarya about the unification match he's going to have against Ren Sinclair. Callie Armstrong interrupted. Callie Armstrong goes one-on-one with Zarya next week. And if Callie wins, she gets added to that match, making it Zarya versus Ren Sinclair versus Callie Armstrong triple threat match for the Women's North American and Speed Championships. So something to think about. So Zarya and Callie Armstrong in that non-title match next week. Also next week, Ray Phoenix versus EK Prosper for the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship. And Dion Lennox versus Saquon Sugars in a weaponized cage match. How about that, guys? If that doesn't blow that ridiculous feud out, if that doesn't blow that off, I don't know what will. So, all right, here's the segment here. Robert Stone, general manager in the ring. He introduced Zilla Fatu, and he was super over with this crowd right out of the gate. He entered to some great new music, and the crowd chanted his name as he made his way to the ring. With only a few minutes left in the show, he didn't talk for too long, but he did leave a lasting impression with his charisma. He put pen to paper, leading to Robert Stone making the announcement that Zilla Fatu has been added to the championship match at Heat Wave. So it will now be Tony D'Angelo defending against Grayson Waller, Cruz Montana, and Zilla Fatu in a fatal four-way. Tony D, Grayson Waller, and Cruz Montana attended to enter the ring, but were held back by security. Stage has been set for the fatal four-way at Heat Wave, and Fatu is suddenly the odds-on favorite to take home the gold in his in-ring debut. Whoa. All right, MF. Zilla Fatu, his first match in NXT for the champion. He's challenging for the big prize in a fatal four-way with Tony D, Cruz Montana, and Grayson Waller at Heat Wave.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. That's huge. I don't think there's really much for me to say on this one. This one was like one of the big segments of the evening, no doubt about it. There's really not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, Zilla Fatu getting added to this. I mean, his first match is going to be for that championship. Oh, man, that's going to be something. I mean, great segment, great way to close the show. So nothing more to say. It's yours for you.
Yes, indeed. Well, so much for that triple threat at Heat Wave. With all due respect, easing Fatu into the title picture would have been the better option as opposed to rushing him into a spot he's not ready for. But this will no doubt be a big showcase for him. For anyone who is not familiar with Zilla Fatu from the independent scene, mainly House of Glory wrestling, this was the second straight week of him being established as a force to be reckoned with. He also clearly will not need a manager since he cut a pretty good promo on his own. It was smart to save this segment for last to build anticipation for Fatu's first official appearance. More of this sort of stuff from the men's division will send the message that the NXT championship scene should be taken seriously going forward. So with all that being said, I do believe Michael Bullock starts this off. Bullock, overall thoughts on last night's NXT? Solid show.
Yeah, this was actually a solid show. There was only one cutout, and that was, of course, obviously the men's speed championship. So that's the only thing that, but everything else was solid to good. So I'm gonna give this in excess of 7 out of 10. So what's yours, Florio?
If I had to put a letter grade on this show, it would be that of a solid B. It's been a long time since there was this much interest surrounding the NXT championship. This edition of NXT this edition of NXT was extremely effective in heating up the title picture. And shockingly, the defending champion is the least compelling part of the picture. This show was also crucial in building toward Heatwave, which is coming up next Sunday and is shaping up to be a great card. There's one episode left to confirm more matches and leave viewers looking forward to what's on tap. This was a rock-solid effort from the NXT brand with a better balance of wrestling to talking than usual. Some of the segments were slightly rushed, but everything served a purpose and planted the seeds for future matchups. It always helps to have matches and segments with stakes, and that also played a pivotal role in the success of this show. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher than Bullock on this. 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating for this. Not much more. MF, your overall thoughts, and then set the table for the future content after that, if you would.
All right. Yeah, I'll go 7.5 out of and 8 out of 10. I think they did a really good job. So really nothing more to add there. And coming up this week on our show of shows, Friday is Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday we're gonna talk about TNA. We're talking about SmackDown Live, and we will preview the Big Three Finals. This is it. The Queen Cities, Charlotte, North Carolina. We got the final. A champion will be crowned. And then, obviously, Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Floyo. We do it all over again. And that's it. So, Anthony, we'll see you all on Friday night at 10 o'clock. We'll do 10 o'clock this time. So, it's yours.
Immediately following SmackDown. You heard the man. So, all right. So that is it. That will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you, as MF said, Friday night, immediately following SmackDown for the Cerebral Smack Talk, where we will review TNA Impact. We will review Friday Night SmackDown, and we will also preview the Big Three Championship matchup featuring the Boston Ball Hogs and the Dallas Power in Charlotte. Maybe some TNA lockdown. We'll see. I'll have to get a hold of him because he must have been in a hurry there, but that's all right. So that'll be on Friday. And then what I meant to say was Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday. Hopefully we'll be back in our usual Tuesday time slot for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, and NXT, the go-home show for Heatwave. And that is that. So that's it. So until Friday night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, and our dear friend, the Trash Panda, Jake Turner. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Friday night, for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.